Look at this post from Graf. Every time I do it makes me laugh. I can't believe that he said what he just posted on that thread.
Well, almost 6 years ago, I made a video about the one and only Graf Zahl, the lead developer of the most highly regarded third-party source port, GZDoom. Here we are again though, in 2025, and I come back talking about this chicken once again. So what happened? Why is my previous video about No Chicken getting traction again? What could he have done that is so bad that... Oh. Alright, so before I actually talk about this, I need to let you in on some more interesting tidbits. You may or may not have seen my video about the whole Lilith.pk3 fiasco, but even before then, Graf Zahl was no stranger to controversy. An early example was an episode in 2010 about GZDoom not working efficiently on ATI cards at the time. Highlights from the thread include: he's blabbering a lot of stuff that you hear everywhere, but the one thing he's not done is actually experiment with it. I find it pathetic that he claims to know everything, but dismisses other people's experiments out of hand, and then in the end forcing an end to the discussion because he doesn't like it. Well, let's see how his own render will fare if he ports it to Doom. I can outright promise some unpleasant surprises because Doom is not like all those other nifty newer games. Modern hardware is geared to. Talking to yourself? And who are you? Graf, I love the fact that you gave GZDoom an OpenGL render at all, and certainly one that is light years better than the piece of crap known as GZDoom GL. But the fact remains, you don't listen to people, you act like a pompous snob about things, you're elitist, and that's where a lot of the Graf hate comes in. So why am I posting this? Maybe it's some hopeless attempt to appeal to you, Graf, to at least start treating people better. I realize you probably don't care, but it's the least you can do if you want someone to help you with GZDoom. I like Vortex Cortex, I do think the code is salvageable, but it will probably never be as good as something rewritten from scratch like he is proposing. You know what? I just don't have the time to do this. And since everybody seems to believe that the current code is not good, I decided to pull it. There you have it. No more GZDoom. And for the next 4 years, this was indeed the case. He took down his website, the subfolders, everything. The only way one could acquire GZDoom after that for a while was through mirrored archives. Now, this was back when GZDoom was still being actively developed, and Graf was part of the team for that, so people weren't too bummed about it at the time. It was only until 2014 when GZDoom itself began to be worked on again. Even around that time, Graf Zahl's reputation for denying feature requests was firmly established among die-hard Doomers who paid attention to any of his antics. However, that did not stop the momentum both it and GZDoom were gaining for their simple and effective map and mod support. And when GZDoom ceased development in late 2016, GZDoom soon took the reins as the most popular source port for mods. Now, aside from that whole Lilith episode in 2017, and other older mods being rendered broken or completely unplayable as a result of updates, and relatedly Graf deleting mods from the forums because they ran on old versions of GZDoom at the time, like Temple of the Lizardmen 4, I am aware of other antics of his that upset people. One example I can easily think of is the kooky default settings where texture filtering is turned on by default.
Jailquake did it, so why can't I? It looks better, no?
That's something that confused me every time I had to install GZDoom on a new computer. Then there was the implementation of a degree of telemetry in 2018, which also didn't do him any favors at the time. But all of this, all of it, pales in comparison to a recent saga. You see, Graf's been a bit inactive in personally coding for GZDoom lately, only committing the occasional change here and there the last few months. That changed the past 2 weeks, and a few suspicious commits garnered quite a bit of attention, which was only confirmed by some more commits he made on the week of October 12th. This is what ChatGPT told me for detecting dark mode on Linux. Why do we think this is okay? It is both untested, doesn't even compile, and the code is sourced from stolen scraped code that we have no way of verifying is compatible with the GPL. It did pass the CI, so it surely did compile. Otherwise, I would have disabled it again. As for that AI hate, to be blunt, F it! Everybody is using AI for boilerplate code these days, and those who act as unreasonable as you did here will lose out in the end and be ridiculed. I surely have my reservations about using AI for project-specific code, but this here is just superficial checks of system configuration settings that can be found on various websites, just with 10 times the effort required. The fact that you feel the need to lie directly to me is hilarious and outright childish. Here's a failed run, and here's a fix submitted by you. Yes, the first commit failed. Does it matter? The fix immediately followed. Pushing this to master directly was an accident. I wanted to push to a test branch first so I could let CI do a test compile, but I made a mistake and didn't switch over before committing. Don't tell me you don't make mistakes. You don't do it. I would not ever use code slop generated by an AI for anything, even boilerplate, even if it was partly for correcting my code with AI assistance. I had to deal with AI-assisted pull requests in another project, and it was absolutely unfun to get inundated by bug reports taking my precious time. If using code slop generated from ChatGPT or any other Gen AI chatbots is the future of this project, I'm sorry to say, but I'm out. The AI code is gone. I excised the function from the repo. But don't ever think this will solve the AI problem. I know far too many developers that swear by AI tools and would not develop without them anymore. And rest assured, most won't be honest about it, and it won't be easy identifying such code. It's not always obvious slop. For example, if I had said that this code was from an old project of mine, nobody would have raised an eyebrow. Unfortunately, that project only had Windows and Mac versions for this check. Frowny face. You understand why everyone hates AI in its current form when the bubble pops. It won't save those steps from legal trouble when the time comes. Oh, trust me, I am quite wary of AI as a coding assistant as well. I've seen the garbage it can spill out, and most times I tried to save time with ChatGPT. It never worked to my satisfaction. The only thing I ever really found it useful for is stuff like these checks. Some system configuration queries that are hard to find in the noise of standard internet search. Even for run-of-the-mill standard algorithms, the results are not consistently good. As for the legal troubles, no. Sorry, won't happen. No country can afford to piss off the big tech giants like that. I entirely expect the financial bubble around AI to burst in the next 2 years, but the tool in general is far too useful to be ditched entirely. It will stay but realign along more sensible outlines. Maybe not for coding, but what about image generation, automated text translation, or automated text summaries or things like that? i.e., content of a more throwaway nature. That isn't supposed to last long. Chances are that you are already using more AI than you actually think you do, you just don't notice. Now, more and more complaints were made on that thread, but an issue was posted about this on GitHub, and it read like so. Respectively, Graf, can you please stop pushing to master? If this commit needed clarifying, it should have been a drafted pull request. You have pushed untested code. Leaving a note for people to test later is ridiculous. Now that it's in the codebase, it will be forgotten about. The use of a large language model to write your code likely violates the GPL. You care about a clean JIT history, but it is full of you going back and forth because things are not discussed with the team. You hide not insignificant changes in commits, which has people worry that you'll randomly rip out features that they rely on. We are a team. Doing stuff like this shows how little you respect your peers. I understand that this is your project, and you can do whatever you like. Please, instead of pushing directly, open PRs and wait for a maintainer to act them. This would set a good example, allowing time for maintainers and other developers to review your work. The recent progress under the more collaborative, team-based practices of late has been magnificent. It'd be a pity to see that get undermined. Feel free to fork the project under a... And that's it. So they did. Many people who were working on GZDoom alongside Graf decided this was enough, packed their bags, and now appear to be working on a fork, just like the No Chicken suggested. And that fork is UZDoom. One of the very first things they did... they turned off linear texture filtering by default. So, what is the future of GZDoom? And UZDoom for that matter? It's way too soon to tell, but I believe we may be entering the end of an era if UZDoom picks up. Whether we will miss Graf and his antics, or be way better off without them, that's for time to decide. Well, that's all I had for you guys. Tell me what you think of the future of GZDoom and UZDoom in the comments below. And while you're at it, don't forget to like and subscribe if you liked this video. While you consider that, allow me to give a special shout out to the following people who helped make it possible, including but not limited to Griffin, Beaks Make Me Coom, Christophine Place, and Magic MSKH. Your support is never necessary but always appreciated. Thanks for watching, and until next time, I'll see you when I see ya. So, see ya.